What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another Montreal Expos expansion series within Out of the Park Baseball 25. So we're at the roster expansion right now. We're going to take a look at how the team's doing. We're going to see how we're setting up heading into the playoff run. And as I'm sure you guys may have noticed right off the bat, 83 and 50 right now with a month to go. We exploded in July and August. And we actually have been battling a little bit of adversity, too, in this explosion. So we're going to jump right in. We're going to take a look at the team leaders. We're going to take a look at stats, league standings, all that good stuff. So right off the bat, you can see Blaze Alexander's hot season has continued. He's our team leader in batting average. You can see Elly De La Cruz is the leader in home runs with Braden Montgomery and Charlie Condon behind. Elly is in RBIs along with Braden and Seager. Evan Carter at 30 stolen bases. Caleb Ferguson, Mackenzie Gore, and Kumar Rocker are leading in ERA. Cease and Rocker, double-digit wins with a month to go. Cease is actually pushing 20. And then Gore and Cease leading 4 strikeouts. So before we take a look at player performance, I just got to show you this. We do have 4 players on the IL right now. We actually, up through about mid-August, we were very lucky with the injured list. We had avoided major injuries for the most part, and then they kind of all hit. So Hunter Green's knocked down for the season. 2 months, he won't come back till after the playoffs. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Kumar Rocker has a rotator cuff strain. The good news is he will be back for the playoffs. The bad news is his ratings look like they might have been slightly affected by it. He might have lost a little bit of zip on his pitches, so that's rough. Emmett Sheehan, torn meniscus. He'll be back for the playoffs, although honestly, we don't know if we'll use him on the playoff roster. And the big one here, Elly fractured a rib. He is done for the season. He will be back for the playoffs. He might be back for the last couple games of the season, but we are not going to risk him. We're not going to rush him. We're not going to do anything dangerous with him. We want him for the playoff hunt. So he's going to end here, 5.7 WAR, right around 39 homers, 100 RBIs or so. A great season. It just missing 6 weeks. It could have been so much better. So now let's jump in. We'll go to pitching staff. The only move we made at the deadline was to acquire Casey Mize. It was in a deal for Michael Molinax, one of our better outfield prospects, and Brendan Donovan, a fringe Major League AAA guy. We got Casey Mize. Casey Mize has been pitching outstanding this year. He was lighting it up for the Astros. They're rebuilding, so they were looking to just get some value for him. We gave him a nice prospect. He's come here. He's in his 4 games here so far. He's 2-0, 0.5 WAR, and a sub-3 ERA. He is doing outstanding for us so far. So we got Mackenzie Gore right here. Mackenzie Gore, only 8 wins, 10 losses, not ideal. He's getting Ks. He's pitching well. 129 ERA plus. Happy with how he's been performing. Cease is kind of a conundrum here. 16 wins, pushing 20 wins, a 4 ERA, but his ERA plus is only 106. He's striking guys out, but he's also walking a fair few guys. It's a tough one. He's getting wins, though, and wins are what are important. I know wins are kind of an antiquated stat, not something that we're going to look into a ton, but, there is something to say for a guy that goes out there on the mound and wins the game for you. Does enough to come home with a W. Jack Leiter has filled in for a starting position. Leiter's pitching pretty well this year. Valencia is the one who got the pull when we brought in Mize, and then we had the Hunter Green injury and the various pitching injuries, Kumar Rocker especially. So Jack Leiter stepped up. He's doing about as we expected. I don't think he's going to be a long-term starter for us. I think he's more of a reliever at this point, and kind of that fill-in starter when we need to deal with injuries. Hunter Brown has been outstanding. He's spent a lot of time in a reliever role, but he's kind of moved into the rotation. He's 8-2 on the year. He's pitching well. He's getting Ks, and he's winning games. So very proud of him. Very happy with that acquisition. And the last one's just Casey Mize, who we already went over. AJ Puck here at closer, pitching outstanding, 35 saves, getting Ks, winning games, closing games is the important part. Got Ferguson here. Caleb Ferguson, we're not going to click on. We'll just find him here super quick. Dealing with a day-to-day injury right now, but it's nothing serious. He's pitching outstanding, up above 100 innings, up above 100 Ks, a 165 ERA plus. He's killing it. Luis Gill, same deal. In that setup spot, 54 innings, 67 Ks, a 161 ERA plus. Luis Gill is also killing it. Jose Soriano pitching very well since he's come back. Keyshawn Askew has been lights out and very, very limited deployment, very, very limited in terms of playing time, but he has been awesome. He's been killing it. Clayton Andrews has been pitching pretty well. And then Palencia and Tyler Bremner. Bremner's been struggling a little bit, but nothing terrible, so we've kept him up. And then Palencia. Palencia is actually not pitching terribly at all. I just wanted to change it up, see if we could get a better option in the rotation. So we'll come on over to the lineup. It's a little bit whack with Elly out, but as you can see here, we actually brought up Shigeya Nishio to be the DH against lefties. He's not doing too great, but that was a fairly recent move mid-August when Elly got hurt. So we're going to give him more time to settle in there. But as you can see, Harry Ford playing very well, pushing 3 WAR, 23 stolen bases, 13 homers, 340 OBP. Kyle Teal playing very well as well, 340 OBP, 2 WAR, 11 stolen bases out of a catcher spot, and I think he's probably got some elite defense. Yeah, so framing's been good, catcher ERA's been good. Zone rating's a little poor, but with catchers, that's always kind of a hit or miss. Chris Bryant has cratered. It sucks to see because he was coming off 2 great years where he got a Gold Glove in 2 straight years, and he's fallen apart. I think he's going to retire after this year, if I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. And I think we're seeing the last month of Chris Bryant's career here. Kyle Lewis, same deal. I don't think he's going to retire, but he's not an MLB player. He's just here to be a clubhouse figurehead for me. Someone that I'm a fan of, that has great personality. He's steady Eddie. So we got Blaze Alexander next. Career season for Blaze continues. He is lighting it up. 5 WAR already. 300 plus average. 385 OBP. OPS plus in the 130s. Pushing 20 homers. He's killing it, and he has done a great job filling over at shortstop along with second base. JP Crawford stepping up, playing pretty well in the platoon role. He's been our primary backup in the middle infield, playing very well. He stepped in now with the Elly injury. Happy with JP. Now Perdomo just got called up from AAA. Very limited usage, playing well so far. As far as a backup to the backup, he's a great option to have. Seager's hitting the ball well. He just can't play defense anymore, so he's in that DH role, first base role, playing well, about what you would expect from a older, starting to regress corner infielder. I remember I told you guys, though, this contract's going to become an albatross. This is going to be a tough one to deal with when he really starts to crater out and lose that MLB efficiency. Charlie Condon. Condon's playing well, but I'm going to level with you guys. I'm disappointed. Only 24 homers at this point. Only 3.3 WAR. I was really hoping for more homers. I thought he would be pushing 40. In this case, he might not even hit 30. So, he's playing well, but I wanted more. Similar deal with Evan Carter. Evan Carter's been a great acquisition, of course. 5 WAR last year, on pace for over 4 this year. I was just hoping for a little more pop, a little more average, just a little more all-around dynamic play. But, I'm by no means disappointed. It's just one of those where I was hoping for more. Brenton Doyle's hot. Brenton Doyle's playing well. Platoon outfielder, defensive fiend, someone who, if he comes in the game, I am not worried one bit. Nishio, we went over. Braden Montgomery, rookie year. He's been a multiple-time rookie of the month, 3-time rookie of the month in the AL. He's hitting the ball hard, going to go over 30 homers. He's playing good defense. He just, unfortunately, doesn't hit the ball a ton, and he's not good at drawing walks. So the average and OBP are low, but when he does put the ball in play, it's hit hard, it's going far. So that's that. We are going to take a look at the standings and the league leaders, and then we'll take a look. So as you can see right here, we are actually the best team in the MLB by record right now. That's awesome. That's a huge accomplishment, and it means that we will get to avoid that one-off wildcard game that is so treacherous. Baltimore and Boston in the East. We have the North on the lock. You got Seattle here in the West pretty much locked down. And then you got the South. It's a 2-horse race with Texas and Kansas City, the wild card spot. So the AL East is going to be one of the wild cards, and then you got a bunch of teams under a blanket here, under a 2.5 to 4 game blanket for the second wild card spot. I think Tampa Bay on down are pretty much dead in the water. On the NL side, You got a fight going on in the NL East, 3 teams all under a blanket. In the North, you got the Cubbies and the Reds, with the Brewers definitely in striking distance. In the West, it's going to be the Padres and the Dodgers, but they are terrible. It is September, and last place in the North would be first in the NL West, and that is insane. But also, I mean, if you're a Toronto fan, that's got to suck. And then the NL South is a 2-horse race. The NL wild card is a little bit murkier. You have every team from first in the wild card down to what looks like 6th under a 4-game blanket. Similar deal to the AL. If you are not within 4 games, you're dead in the water. You're not going to make the playoffs. But in the NL, there's a lot of room. I think it's the NL West kind of throwing things out of whack. Let's take a look at statistics. I'm going to give you guys a hint. We know who's going to win the AL MVP. It has been decided already. It is Wyatt Langford. Wyatt Langford's going to get his crown. He is leading in average, home runs, and RBIs. He is in triple crown territory right now. That is insane. If he pulls off a triple crown, I think it'd be the first, maybe since Miggy did it as a batter back in like 2012 or so. So that's crazy. Soto for OBP, Langford. The NL is a little cooler. You got Noelvi Marte in spot. Elly missed 2 weeks so far, and he's still top 5 in home runs. Elly was not going to push Langford for MVP though this year. Wyatt Langford is the prodigal son. He's the chosen one. Let's see, Langford some more for hits, Langford for runs. Langford's going to break 200 hits, isn't he? Yeah, he's totally going to break 200 hits. Stolen bases, Corbin Carroll, Evan Carter's up there. Justin Crawford's up there, C.J. Abrams. Then a lot of Wyatt Langford. Coming on over to pitchers, Mason Miller, Dylan Cease leads the league in wins. Luke Little is tied with Puck for stolen bases for saves. Pitchers aren't stealing too many bases there. Jordan Montgomery is in command of the AL Cy Young. I want to see how they're going to do the AL Cy Young personally, because Cease has the wins on lock. Is this Bobby Miller and Bryce Miller? Okay. Because Cease has the AL wins on lock, but Montgomery has the AL WAR right now along with Mason Miller. Mason Miller's up there. How will it weight wins as opposed to the personal counting stats? We got Detmers for K's, Noah Schultz, Ricky Tiedemann. Tiedeman's out for the season, though, so he's done. DL Hall's up there, Mason Miller, as we went over. Come on over, Ferguson's tied for shutdowns. Ferguson leads and holds. Guys, I'm excited. So what we're going to do here for the rest of the season, like we went over, we're going to kind of nurse Elly to the finish there. We don't want Elly to come back and get hurt or come back and re-aggravate anything. So we're going to get him enough to get that rust off, but then we're just going to nurse him to the playoffs. It's looking like we're going to lock up a bye, and it's looking like we're going to have the best regular season for the team so far to date. As you can see, team stats, we actually are top 5 in just about every batting category, and then we're top 5 roughly in the pitching one. Starters are 6, but bullpen's first. FIP and pitching WAR were lower, but that's because we are so good defensively, and we're first in strikeouts. So that is that, ladies and gentlemen. What we're going to do, we're going to come back for the playoffs. We are going to review how the season ended. Then we are going to play through the playoffs, similar to last year. That playoff video, it's going to go as long as we make it in the playoffs. If we lose in that first round, it's going to be a shorter video. If we get to the World Series, you guys are going to see multiple games. You're going to see multiple series, and hopefully you get to see us raise that World Series trophy. Thank you guys very much. Hope you have a great day.